Good evening, I'm Jim Williams. Developing right now, President Trump remains hospitalized after testing positive for COVID-19. Here's a live look at Walter Reed Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, where the president is being treated. He's in a special presidential suite, and the White House says he will be here for a few days. And here's what we know so far. The president tweeted today that he is feeling well. His doctor says Mr. Trump is fever-free, but as CBS News Natalie Brand tells us, there are questions about the timeline of the president's diagnosis.
The president's physician and a team of doctors from Walter Reed said Saturday the president is doing well.
He's in exceptionally good spirits. The quote he left us with was, "I feel like I could walk out of here today."
But a source familiar with the president's health told reporters vitals over the last 24 hours were very concerning, and the next 48 hours will be critical in terms of his care, adding, quote, "We're still not on a clear path to a full recovery." CBS News has also confirmed the president was administered supplemental oxygen at the White House Friday before he was flown to Walter Reed in the evening. It's not clear if the president was having trouble breathing at that time. President Trump's physician, Dr. Sean Conley, deflected questions on that topic.
He's not on oxygen right now, that's right.
He's not received any at all?
He's not needed any this morning today at all.
And new questions are now emerging about the timeline surrounding the president's diagnosis.
Just 72 hours into the diagnosis now.
In a White House statement issued shortly after, Dr. Conley said he incorrectly used the term 72 hours and should have said day 3, adding that the president tested positive Thursday night. Earlier that same day, President Trump attended a fundraiser in New Jersey. He traveled to Minnesota the day before. It's still unclear exactly when President Trump began displaying symptoms, and Dr. Conley declined to answer a question about when the president last tested negative for the virus.
I'm not going to get into all the testing going back, but he and all the staff routinely are tested.
As the White House continues contact tracing, the list of those in the president's circle who have now tested positive has grown. Chris Christie is among the latest. He's now one of 8 people who attended last Saturday's White House ceremony for Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett, who have since tested positive. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Bethesda, Maryland.
Senate Judiciary Committee member Ron Johnson in Wisconsin has become the 3rd U.S. senator to test positive. He did not attend last Saturday's White House event. Senators Mike Lee and Tom Tillis have also tested positive and attended the Supreme Court nominee ceremony 1 week ago. And Natalie just mentioned former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Late this afternoon, he checked himself into a hospital as a precaution. Aside from last weekend's ceremony, he also helped the president with debate preps. Christie says he has mild symptoms, but doctors advise that he go to the hospital because he has a history of asthma.